environment?
Well, it's been an interesting year. Talking about year in review. What does it mean? Well, much of my work is still in the video conferencing space. I have a number of clients who I work with in the video conferencing world, both publicly and mainly not publicly. The other thing I did is one of the last pieces of work I did for my previous employer was look at business models. And I realized at that time that the business models for the video conferencing, AV, IT, UC world were changing. And the vast majority of the resellers and distribution and manufacturers had no idea what to do about that. You look at a world where services used to be delivered in boxes that you would stick a telephony solution in, or a video solution in, or an AV solution in, and there would be handsets on desks or PCs on desks, and there'd be servers in server rooms, and you would do a deal for a few $100,000 for a client, and you'd have to pay your sales guy 10% of the money for that, and then you go off and find another one, and you ring that same customer back about 5 to 7 years from now and see if he wants another one of these things from you. And it's all changed. The world of cloud has turned this whole business model on its head. It's much easier for clients now to be acquired by resellers because the barrier to entry is so much less. You can buy a service. For example, we're using Zoom right now for this video conference. This video conference solution that I'm using now cost me $15 a month from Zoom. It's great. It's great. If we were to buy this thing 5 years ago, we would be looking at $10,000 per user. So that's $40,000 worth, except one of us would have an $18,000 system with a MCU in it.
Mm-hmm.
And we'd have a recording device as well. So if someone sold the four of us this solution 5 years ago, it would cost $60,000 to $80,000. And it would cost 15 to 20% of that per year to continue to manage it and run it.
That's right.
Now it's $15 a month.
That's right.
So
you boil it down, right?
So what my job is, a lot of my work now is working with distribution, working with manufacturers, working with resellers to work out how do they survive in a business model where you can't even afford to pay your sales guy, because he would normally have taken, let's say, an $80,000 deal. Sales guy would probably take $4,000 or $5,000 in commission. Well, hang on. Your sales guy now he's sold me one solution. It's $15 a month. I'm making $180 a year. Woohoo! Well, he has to sell 1,000 times more than 1,000 times more. Actually, he needs to sell 2,000 times more to get the same amount of revenue. Now, how does he do that? Well, there's plenty of things you can do. And so, but it's not easy, and I'm not going to tell you all of them now, but I'm working with plenty of companies to help them re-engineer their businesses to cope with that. It's actually turned out to be, from my point of view, a far more interesting thing than talking about the bits and bytes of video conferencing technologies. And it's funny, actually, how the industry, and that's the industry's IT, video conferencing, UC, AV, kind of any two-letter acronym industry you really want, it's all been turned on its head, and the vast majority of manufacturers, resellers, and distribution have no idea how to cope with it. And they'll all go bust if they don't work out how to live in this new world. And ignoring it and hoping it goes away is not a winning strategy.
Mm-hmm.
Because if you ignore it, you'll be the one who goes away.
Mm-hmm.